This is the Leeview for the Demon Souls remake, created by the same guy that brought you Dark Souls. It was remade from the ground up by Bluepoint, who added their own touch to the atmosphere, music and tone of the game, bringing it up to standards to showcase the PS5's capabilities. It became very popular on its original release, as it was one of the first Souls-style games with the bosses that just wrecked your shit, the Soul system where you could lose all of your XP instantly. It throws you into a world ravaged by demons who have been created by an ancient demon called the Old One, who was awoken by a king seeking more power for his kingdom. He was seeking the power of souls, awoke some giant gnarly wooden butthole demon that spread its fog again across the land, made demons spawn everywhere to collect souls for it. You get sent in, slayer of demons, touching demons inside of her, taking them out, becoming the hero of the story, or stomping her into the ground. Up to you. No messing around, I think the game's amazing. I do love fantasy games, especially dark fantasy like this. I love Souls games. I played Dark Souls 2 back in the day. I know it's the most hated one, but I played that and I was hooked. If you're a fan of any of the Souls games, then you really should get Demon Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, or the Souls-like or Soulsborne games. This is the OG game that have spawned that genre. And even if you haven't played any of those types of games, you can still jump in and have fun, die 1,000 times, wonder why anyone plays them and never play it again. Or you'll become hooked and you'll be a new Souls player, which makes you very, very cool. It's an action RPG, so you create your character, get thrown into this world. It's mainly single player with a multiplayer summon system. Players can invade you if you're at full health or in your human form. You can invade players while in soul form. You can put your soul sign down. You can avoid all of the multiplayer by playing in soul form or just by turning off the network settings and playing it single player. Or you can enjoy invading people and making their souls experience even harder. The gameplay is smooth, there's lots of weapons to choose from, different classes you can go for. You can use magic, miracles, big hefty weapons to bonk people with, small stabby weapons, fancy weapons. You can use your bare fists if you want. One of the problems you'll encounter is the camera just straight up going where it wants sometimes. You'll be fighting an enemy that you've fought 10 times. You'll be going to get your souls that you need that's just round the corner, and now the camera goes nah and just janks itself all around you, and suddenly you've died. Camera. Blame the camera. My only other problem with it is some of the bosses are a bit gimmicky, like the Dragon God, where you're basically in a fight with some stone pillars and then you've got to fight some chin of an ancient Dragon God. And some of the other fights where it's not really about the combat or your skills and stats that you've leveled up, it's more about just following the cheese method that they've laid forward for you to win. And if you do die to a boss, then there's no bonfire, no checkpoints before them. You just have to start at the beginning of the area again and make the longest boss run ever. This is what Demon Souls basically is. The bosses aren't too bad, it's the level that is hard, making your way to the boss, and then the panic of if you don't beat the boss, your ass is going back to the start of this level. The last little thorn in the side is the tendency system, which they got rid of for the Dark Souls games, which is amazing, because this tendency system requires a degree in fuckery to understand. It makes no sense unless you go online and do some deeper research. If you ignore it and don't understand, and you just think, well, maybe I want full health, wrong. You're gonna die constantly. Guess what? The world is now harder. Enemies are harder. There's new enemies that are gonna just F you in the air every corner you come round. And they're called Black Phantoms and the Red. That just pisses me off as well. The actual fighting requires some sort of stamina management or magicka management. Either way, you have a resource that's limited. You can't spam the attack button like any other regular game. And you'll soon find out that regular enemies will tank a hit off you and then just kill you. They'll straight up kill you, and then you're back at the start. So you then start approaching things cautiously, or you just use magic and you melt everything in your path. Bluepoint done an amazing job with the remake, and they've added their own touch to the areas that they could. By remaking it from the ground up, they've added some extra flair to the music, the art style and atmosphere of the game. Some original fans aren't happy. I myself, I love the new design. I feel like they've achieved what Demon Souls wanted to originally, but were limited by the hardware that they were on. They've added great detail lights in. They've changed some of the enemies design, which you could argue the original was better. I'm looking at you, fatties. But apart from that, it's an overall improvement, looks great, and the people that aren't a fan are likely just nostalgic for the original game that they experienced when it came out, which is very understandable. It's what got them hooked, and some people don't like changes. The writing in the game is kind of hidden in item descriptions and lore-based conversations that you can entirely skip by just not talking to NPCs. The voice actors have done a great job capturing that creepy but yet not giving a shit vibe that the NPCs had in the original. Overall, I'd say the game is amazing and you should definitely play it. Bluepoint have done an amazing job with this remake. Plenty of replayability. The community is still active on Reddit, so you can get some online or co-op going on. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Like and subscribe for more. Sorted.